Hello everyone, this is another one of those WTF videos. This is gonna be what in the blue hell happened to being a customer. And I'll elaborate on this. And this comes from a perspective, it comes from a corporation perspective and a customer's perspective. So let's go from a customer perspective. Somewhere along the way, it just seemed like customers and these became okay with mediocrity and shit products. I'm just gonna be honest. That's what happened. It's like customers have been almost conditioned and fell for like this gaslighting and propaganda to say this really mediocre, shitty product is great. And what happened to that? Like, and I remember, like as customers, we used to demand, we need the product needs to actually be good, it needs to be for a good price. It needs to have quality. It needs to last long. And for somewhere along the way, like, it's just a lot of customers, we just settled for shit and mediocrity. We settled for things that break easily, that are planned to only last for like a certain amount of time, for things that don't come with all the features, for things that don't work properly, you know what I mean? We just settled for things that are mediocre. And it's not just products, but it's even food. Like, wait, we're selling for things that don't taste that good anymore. That taste worse and worse and worse. That you use cheaper and cheaper ingredients that make it taste bad. And for some reason, customers have just, instead of demanding, like, you know what, we're gonna go there, well, we're not gonna buy your shit anymore. We're not gonna buy this mediocre crap. We said that's okay. That it used to be like that. Like, we didn't used to do that. And I think the other thing, which is even worse than that, is the fact that we also have customers that come to defend these companies and defend these products that are dog crap and defend products that are mediocre, that aren't good. And some of it is people online that are paid by these companies that act like they're not. No, and that act like they're like you and me, but no, they're not. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think that's the sad part. You got people who freaking defend these people, go to the end of the earth, where this company couldn't give a damn if there was a recall that would put your life in danger. The only way they would do it is if they would get into financial trouble, otherwise they wouldn't say anything. But it's just so odd. You have people who just will defend these shitty, mediocre products that our company will unveil. You know what I mean? Here's a crappy GPU, a graphics card. Oh, this is good. Oh, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. Video games. Oh, yeah, but the video games have been for $50 or $60 for years. They have every right to charge $70 and $80. And I'm just like, wait, what? You want to pay more for games and defend the company for paying more for games? Do you work for them? That makes no sense. It's just like, I'm just thinking about it, like, that's just so stupid. It's like, imagine, oh yeah, well, the electric company, my bill was like $50. Now it's at $80. Like, that's fine. They have that would never happen. You wouldn't say, oh, you would be on the phone. Why the hell is my electric? You would be pissed. You know what I mean? But then when I'm looking at these video games, the people are saying, oh, and they're defending it. I'm just like, dude, seriously? And I think that's the worst part. Not just being accepting of mediocre and these mediocrity and shit products, but to actively defending it too. Where it's just like, you should be defending yourself and your fellow customers against those products and these companies. So that's just completely is changed. And then from a corporation's perspective, and I'm going to say this because this is kind of what it feels like. It feels like there's a few things. One, like, there are companies that are literally have just been coasting on their name. And there are companies that have just been coasting for years upon years on their name. And they just become complacent. And it's just been like, like, say a company that's been around for years, say like, I don't know, like Coca-Cola. And again, I don't really drink Coca-Cola anymore. And I don't really drink Coca-Cola anymore because, syrup, and I could just taste the syrup, and it's so sugary. But companies like that have just been coasting. Like McDonald's and other these companies have been coasting on their names and their past excellence. You know what I mean? So they have no incentive to release any quality products, release things that last, and release things that are a good price, and they've just been coasting because it's in their eyes. It's like, oh, yeah, we don't have to put a quality product. We don't have to do anything anymore. We don't have to, actually really try that hard. We just release crap and mediocre products, and these customers are just gonna buy it anyway. We can coast on our name. That's kind of what it feels like, isn't it? From a corporate perspective, they're just coasting, and because customers are accepting of it and actually would defend that, they're not wrong. And I think the other part of it too, and this is something else too, is, and I don't know if anyone else gets this, but it's almost as if these companies as well, like, just have disdain for customers now. Before it was, oh, the customer is always right, which went way too damn far. And I think now we're kind of going way too far in the other direction. But it almost is like these companies have just absolute disdain for their companies, for their customers. Like, it's almost like as if, how dare they expect us to release something that's for quality, that's a good price, that's built well. How dare they demand that we release good stuff? Like, we shouldn't have to do that. It kind of feels like, they hold us in, they have nothing but contempt for customers, where it's like, they feel like they don't have to razzle and dazzle their customers. They don't have to release these products. They're entitled to our money. You know what I mean? That's what it feels like. And I don't know if anyone else has gotten that feeling, but I've gotten that feeling a lot. Where it's almost like they do things to spite us. You know what I mean? We're seen as the inconvenience. We are the inconvenience between them and the money that we work for. They want our money, but we're an inconvenience. And that's what it feels like. And it's almost like we're seeing it live. Where they're purposely doing like anti-consumer stuff. Right, like, there's a big thing with Right to Fix where they're purposely, like, making products where you can't fix them. And you have to go to their special service centers and stuff like that. You're seeing it in, like, just the way products are made. Oh, they're planning for them to, like, fail. They're not lasting long. You have to buy a subscription for everything. I mean, if I own a car, I shouldn't have to buy a subscription for a seat warmer. It shouldn't be a thing. But you're seeing it with that. You're seeing it with the pricing where it's like, they're pricing things way higher than they're worth. And I think, lastly, and this is my favorite, is the absolute gaslighting that you see in the media. Like, you see it in the media, you'll see these CEOs, these heads of these companies, and they will gaslight their customers. Oh, we're not going to last long. Oh, making every excuse. Oh, we're not really servicing them. Or, we're running, and you see these articles and them, and like, oh, millennials, and Gen Z, and then they're killing this industry, and they're and it's like, that's my personal favorite. It's like, they're gaslighting you too, and trying to gaslight us as well. Because that's how much contempt they have for us. It's like, instead of realizing, shit, I need to release quality and stuff, no, I'm going to gaslight these customers and blame them instead of us. And that's what it feels like now. And, like, again, the only way to really, make things better or fix things is to essentially, one, like, freaking enforce antitrust laws for the love of God. Like, there's so many companies that just own so much crap. Like, seriously. Like, there's so many companies, like, so few companies that own a lot of shit. Like, a lot of the cheese that you see at these pizza places, Domino's Pizza, comes from the same vendor now. You know what I mean? You have TV stations, news stations, radio stations that are owned by the same parent company. Thank you, Telecommunications Act of '96. Thank you, Bill Clinton and idiot Congress for doing that. Fantastic. But I think that's one thing too. Like, you have to start enforcing antitrust laws for the love of God. Start breaking up these companies. That's one way to do it. The other way for us is for the love of God, to vote with our wallet. Vote with our wallet.
Crispy filet of...
We do not need to buy certain things. We do not need things, but again, that's like the two ways that I can think will work. If you vote with your wallet, and they actually enforce antitrust laws. But unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to happen. Too much money in politics, you know what I mean? And not just that too, but for the love of God, like, God forbid anyone get inconvenienced temporarily. Like, God, people cannot stand, God forbid that. It's like, yeah, people during COVID throwing hissy fits because you can't get a haircut at a freaking barber. Like, you know how, like, freaking privileged in your life you have to be if that's the biggest problem you have, is getting a haircut? You know what I mean? You don't really need to watch, you don't have to watch the show on Netflix or Hulu. You don't need to do that. It's not needed. But, like I said, unfortunately, I don't think you're going to see much change. I think you're really going to continue seeing this. You're going to continue seeing these companies just, coast on their name and, like, just have absolute contempt for the customers. And it's really hard when a lot of customers are just willingly accepting these products that are crap, and also at the same time, like, actively defending these companies too. So I don't foresee really much changes. The only way that maybe anything at all changes would be if there's, like, a massive recession, which may end up happening. If there's, like, a massive recession where people just can't afford things. That's really it. Yeah, but other than that, that's my WTF, like, what in the hell happened to being the customer? When did us customers go from, we demand excellent products that last under the quality, that are good for a good price, to, yeah, we're going to accept whatever you throw at us, whatever dog shit you throw at us, and we're going to defend that too. And when did customers go from, yeah, we need to earn their business, to we're entitled to their business? Like, yeah. Let me know what you think.